We just saw that poor Ukrainian girl get stabbed in the neck several times. Nobody helped her. She bleeds out. I mean, it's what do, does that fall under you? Does public
Yes.
transportation safety fall
Yeah.
under with
Or the Daniel Penny
Daniel Penny?
in New York. So just if you take a step back, you're a liberal, right? And you're a liberal who doesn't like cars. Cars emit carbon. Carbon is climate change, right? So like, I want everybody on public transportation. Like that's what they want. I think it's more about control as well, but they want everyone or more people on public transportation. And so if you're a liberal and you had any common sense, you'd say, well, if I want more people to ride on public transportation, I should make it really safe. I should make it really clean. I should make it beautiful. It should be the greatest experience. So Shawn Ryan and his family, if they have public transportation, they actually want to take it because they're going to get to where they're going much faster. It's going to be much quicker. They're not going to get stuck in traffic. So they want to take public transportation. Or Shawn would say, I feel really comfortable actually sending my wife and my two kids on a train into the city because I know they're going to be safe. I know that their lives are not in danger. I feel comfortable sending them. But that's not the story of American public transit. New York, I mean, what these cities have done is they've allowed the criminal element to converge down into the subways and on public transportation. And so you get repeat offenders, you get violent, mentally ill, people who are on this system riding with the very good people who paid for it, and it's not safe. And so people don't want to ride it. I'm fighting with liberal cities, trying to tell them, listen, if you don't make your system safe, we're not going to fund you, right? If you don't clean it up, we're not going to fund you. And I get resistance over that. That's actually really good politics. Good politics is make your trains clean and safe, and everyone's going to want to ride them. Everyone's going to love you as a politician. Why in the hell am I sitting in D.C. telling you to make your train system safe? One of the biggest complaints I get is from riders on, whether it's in Chicago or in New York or in Boston, complaining about how unsafe the system is. And there's fare jumpers, and it's riddled with criminals. That should not be the American story. And so we are working again. I'm the way I spend my money from Joe Biden, and the requirements make it a little more challenging, but I can pull money. But I don't run them. The local communities run them. But with the new money that's going to go out under this administration, there's going to be requirements, stricter requirements on how they need to provide safety to their citizens and their riders. But this is we have to have this conversation is idiotic. We have trains in Philadelphia, they're starting on fire. Buses that start on fire. We have to look at, do we take them out of service? Do we shut down the whole system? Do I put 15,000 more people on the road because they can't figure out how to run a safe system? It's a failure of liberal policies in liberal cities that we see in just one microcosm of public transportation. And I think these mayors would be heroes if they would just pay some attention to making these systems safer and better.
So how does it work then? I mean, if you're funding them, who can you just break down the funding, how it works? I mean, if you're funding them, couldn't you also just fund security for them as well, or did they? How does it work?
So on the federal system, I have on Amtrak, we have federal officers that work for us on Amtrak. But these systems, like New York's subway system, bus system, is the MTA. They provide their own security, the city does, to the system, right? So they have to hire the law enforcement to put them on the trains. They're the ones that have to collect the tolls. They're the ones that have to develop, do we want to do an expansion? When do we need new cars? And so and they'll come to us and say, well, we want this much money to do this project, or we want our share. By the way, I told you the gas tax. A portion of the gas tax actually goes to public transportation. The trust fund for roads and bridges of the gas tax, which the money should go to, we don't have enough money. The question becomes, why are we sending this to public transit? Maybe we should put this all on roads, as opposed to carving off 20% to go to public transit. That's a different conversation. But so I look at the money that we do give them, and I'm willing to have conversations to drive public safety, and if not, I threaten them with withholding the cash.
Gotcha.
And they've improved, but they have to get better. But it's also local money, so city money, it's state money, and it's our money. But our money is a big part of it. But they're in charge of running their system. We'll do oversight, right? We do safety inspections, and we also help fund. And that's a leverage point that we can use. Does that make sense?
What is the pushback from? What do they even say? Hey, somebody just got stabbed to death on your public transit system. Could you make it a little safer? I mean, the entire world just saw this young blonde Ukrainian girl get
Beautiful little
stabbed in the
girl.
neck. Could you clean it up a little bit? I mean, how the fuck how do they push back against that?
That response has been different, right? They've actually just because they had no cash bail, they've changed they've changed the law to now be able to keep some of these violent offenders behind bars when they have pending crimes instead of letting them out. So this is directly tied into the criminal justice system and the liberal idea that we don't want to incarcerate people. We want to let everybody out, no bail, and they're back on the streets, back in the subways, recommitting crimes. You've seen with President Trump in D.C. by bringing in the National Guard, there's just a small cohort of people that create all the problems. You take them off the street, you take their guns off the street, and lo and behold, the city becomes a much safer place. So law enforcement actually works, but it's been this liberal idea of no cash bail, soft on crime prosecutors that have driven more of the problems in the subway system. And again, the subway system is not meant for the mentally ill. That's not their home. That's not their shelter. The cities have to figure out something else to do with the mentally ill. How do I treat them? How do I house them? But the subway system is not a place for the homeless or for the mentally ill. Mm-hmm. And liberals have a hard time wrapping their head around that. So they complain. They'll tell me they're safe. They tell me that I'm crazy. But again, there's story after story of violent crimes on these systems, and the answer is really easy. Again, prosecute criminals, put criminals behind bars, stop the fare jumping, kick out the homeless. I mean, it's not. These are not. We don't need this. The solution is not complicated. It's very, very easy. It's just that their liberal ideology won't let them do it, and then that becomes the problem.
Man. No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.